Okay, yesterday we went over weathering and what weathering was. Today we are going to go over types of erosion. Alright, so what is erosion? Erosion is the movement of weathered rocks and soil particles from one place to another. Okay, so we learned what weathering was. Now erosion is moving that weathered rocks. And you should be writing down notes as you go. So write down what's important on each slide. Okay, there are 5 agents of erosion we're going to talk about: gravity, glaciers, wind, water, and waves. Gravity, okay. So erosion caused by gravity is called mass wasting. Okay, when you have large amounts of mass that are moving because of gravity, it's called mass wasting. And gravity actually is the underlying force behind all types of erosion, because gravity is what is pulling and putting a force on things to make it move. All right, and erosion is moving of weathered particles. Okay, rapid mass wasting. One type of rapid mass wasting is landslides, which is the tumbling of dry soil and rocks downhill. Okay, so looking at that picture, that whole chunk of that mountain was caused by landslides. All right, another type of rapid mass wasting is mud flow, where rain mixes with the soil to form mud, which moves downhill. Another type is slump. Okay, this is where a huge block of rock slides rapidly down a hillside. Okay, looking at this picture, there was probably a rock right here, and it just slid down. All right. Another type of mass wasting is earth flow. Okay, this is where a mass of soil and plant life begin to slowly move downhill after heavy rainfall. Okay, you can see that this side of the mountain, it just has slowly moved down in a whole chunk. Another type is creep, where soil particles move slowly downhill. This is the slowest type of mass wasting, and you can kind of see that in this picture there are some, they kind of look like bubbles, lumps. All right, that is that slow creep. All right, glaciers. A glacier is a large mass of moving ice and snow. Okay, glaciers move rocks by plucking, where ice freezes around a rock and it moves along as the glacier moves. Okay, so these glaciers pluck rocks out. Glaciers also move rocks through abrasion. Okay, abrasion is where rocks are loosened and moved by the glacier, causing scratches on the bedrock. Okay, so sometimes you can actually see these giant scrapes. Okay, the glaciers came through years and years ago, but even the glaciers up in Alaska, you can visibly see the abrasion. All right, and then it usually leaves this thing called till, which is small fine particles left over from the glaciers. So glaciers move a ton, a lot of erosion with glaciers. Okay, next concept of erosion we're going to talk about is wind. Wind moves soil by deflation. Okay, where wind removes loose material from the land. That is called deflation. Okay. So looking at this picture here, smaller grains are blown away from larger grains. Okay. So wind is going to pick up. It's going to move that weathered small rocks. Okay. Water. Running water is a major cause of erosion. Water picks up and carries loose particles of soil as it moves downhill. Okay, water is the number one source of erosion in our world. Okay, water starts out as tiny grooves called rills. So looking at this picture, these tiny little grooves, those are called rills. That is what starts off. Okay, then rills become wider and deeper. These are then called gullies. Okay, and you can see on the picture, we've got erosion right here. There is definitely particles that are moving. Gullies turn into streams, which turn into rivers. Okay, streams are smaller than rivers. Okay, more. Stream bank erosion. Okay, still underwater, but this is when there's a clearing that when somebody clears the area around the stream beds and makes stream erosion faster. Okay, so whether it's cleared for farming or houses or whatever, there are no longer those roots and trees and brushes to hold the banks in place, and then water just erodes it away. That's what happened in this picture. Oops, crap. Well, okay, so you'll just have to listen to me on this one because my picture is totally overlapping. So, erosion of floodplains. All right, so floodplains are flat areas, and when they receive excess water, okay, they can begin to erode. So they can move particles over these flatlands because there's really no difference in elevation. It's all flat. So the water, we get streams in there and it just overtakes it. It can move and destroy large masses of land by moving those particles by erosion. Okay, next form of erosion with water we're going to talk about is sheet and rill erosion. So this is when a thin layer of topsoil is removed over a entire area, whole hillside, or a paddock. Okay, so looking at this picture, you've got this dark dirt here and then grass on the side. Well, that's because there's been a sheet and rill erosion here, okay? So the whole topsoil just kind of moves, all right? It happens because it gets oversaturated, so too much water, and then that water kind of makes the grass and the topsoil float away, and then you are left with patches of the soil underneath the topsoil. And a lot of times this will happen on hillsides. Okay, onto waves. Waves carry off small rocks and sand from the beach. Okay, so waves are a form of erosion. Okay, so now I want you to go through and look at some of these examples, and we'll probably go through them as a class and try and see if you can figure out what agent of erosion happened in this picture. And this one, and this one. One more, two more, three more. All right, make sure you have these notes done. Make sure you've got them all written, all of our agents, what erosion is, everything. Be able to look at pictures and tell me what agent of erosion has occurred here. Okay.